Good morning students. Today we will discuss about the postural deviation and its management. As you know, posture is the attitude assumed by the body either in a static or dynamic position, and there are several factors behind the deviation of postures and faulty posture, bad posture. We will discuss about all those causes and its management. Here we will discuss about the introduction, like what is the faulty postures and what are the deviations, how it happens, the incidence means when it happens, how many numbers of incidence is there, supportive references, treatment and references. Considerable deviations from optimal posture may be aesthetically unpleasant, adversely influence muscle efficiency and predispose individuals to musculoskeletal or neurological pathological conditions. Any change in position or malalignment of one body segment will cause change to occur in the adjacent segment, as well as changes in other segments as the body seeks to adjust or compensate for the malalignment. Whenever there is any change occurs in a joint, the adjacent joint means proximal distal joints may be affected, because the whole alignment is maintained by the composition of the every joints. Postural problems may originate in any part of the body and cause increased stress and strain throughout in the musculoskeletal system. Prolonged weight bearing stress on the joint surfaces increase cartilage deformation and may interfere with the nutrition of the cartilage, and as a result joint surface may become susceptible to degenerative changes. It has been stated that if body segments are held out of alignment for extended period of time, the muscles will result in shortened or lengthened position, and over time adaptive shortening or lengthening may occur. Exercise has been promoted in an attempt to correct postural deviations such as excessive lumbar lordosis, scoliosis, kyphosis, abducted scapula, etc. Now, incidence. A high incidence of postural abnormality, forward head posture is basically 66%, kyphosis 38%, rounded shoulder is 73%, was observed in the age of healthy subjects between the age group of 20 to 50 years. A significantly higher incidence of pain, however, was found in subjects with more severe postural abnormality. See, here you can see the different type of faulty posture. First is sway back posture. Here you can see the trunk is going backwardly. It is the anterior pelvic tilt posture. You can see lordosis has been increased, pelvic is tilted anteriorly. And the third one is thoracic kyphosis. Here you can say the dorsal spine is convex posteriorly. And the next is forward head posture. You can see head is bended forwardly, and lordosis over the cervical area is increased. Now the last one is good posture. You can see all the joints are in alignment, shoulder are in equal level. Now what studies tell about this faulty posture and its correction? Dekju, Kim and co-workers in 2015 conducted a study on effect of an exercise program for posture correction on musculoskeletal pain. The study investigated the effect of an exercise program for postural correction on musculoskeletal pain and concluded that shoulder pain, mid back pain and low back pain were relieved with the exercise program for posture correction. Another studies conducted by the Sinijan et al. In 2014 told that, and they have done a study on the physiotherapy aspect of diagnosis and treatment of postural disorders, and investigated that the combined physical training program that include strength and muscles stretching exercises should help in the prevention of health problems that could occur late in life. Means here you can see the strengthening exercises and stretching exercises are the key factors for the correction of the faulty posture. Again, another studies done by Harisomalis Kohn conducted a review in 2010 on effectiveness of strengthening and stretching exercises for the postural correction of abducted scapula and concluded that the stretching the interior chest muscles in combination with the strengthening of the scapular retractors can alter the position of the scapula at rest in individual with abducted scapula. Again, the next study done by Stephanie et al. In 2009 conducted a study on the effects of exercise intervention on forward head and rounded shoulder posture in elite swimmers. It was 8-week exercise training program to correct posture and concluded that the exercise intervention was successful at decreasing forward head posture and rounded shoulder posture in elite swimmers. Means again, exercises are the main factors responsible for the correction of faulty positions, faulty postures. Now, what will be the objective of treatment? The first objective will be the muscle strengthening exercises. We will provide muscle strengthening exercises to the faulty posture patients. Then the next objective will be stretching exercises. Third will be the posture corrections, and fourth will be taping, and the last will be myofascial release. First technique is muscle strengthening exercises for the posture correction. The basic principle of working correctly and safely is to plan balanced activity that helps to maintain both muscle strength and flexibility. Imbalance between groups of antagonistic muscles alters the balance of forces exerted on the specific joints and affects their position. Means there should be a strength balance between the agonistic and antagonistic. If the strengthening of the antagonistic and agonistic level of strengthening is altered, there will be chance of the imbalance of the strength and which can leads to the faulty posture. An integral part of therapeutic exercise involves bringing muscles to the appropriate length and strength for maintaining optimal posture and function. The American College of Sports Medicine in 2011 has conducted some study and some evidence-based recommendation for the resistant exercises. When it is used as a part of fitness program for healthy adults, these guidelines can be used as a starting point. Means here you can see the strengthening exercises are helpful for the maintenance of the faulty postures. Evidence-based recommendation on resistance exercises. Components are here. How we can give resistant exercises? Its frequency. Frequency is the components, intensity, time, type, repetition, set, patterns, and progression. Frequency means how many times in a day you have to give exercises. Muscles should be trained 2 or 3 days per week. Intensity means a speed of exercises. You can say the less than 50% of the first repetition maximum. Light to moderate intensity to improve muscle endurance. First repetition, 1 repetition maximum. Less than 50% of 1 repetition maximum. It's based on the DROM technique. Now the time of exercise means duration of the exercise. The most effective duration of the training is unknown. But as a study says, the 20 to 30 minutes per day or alternate day basis exercise is sufficient. Now the type of exercises for general fitness use resistant exercise involving each major muscle group. Repetitions is 15 to 20 repetitions, improve endurance. 15 to 20 repetitions is adequate for the improvement of endurance. Set 2 or fewer sets, improve muscle endurance. Pattern, rest 2 to 3 minutes between each set of repetitions so that relaxation effect can achieve. Rest 48 hours or more between session of a single muscle groups. Progression for general fitness, progress gradually with greater resistance or more repetitions per set or increase frequency. These are the recommendations on the resistant exercises. Exercises to lengthen the muscles means stretching exercises. Muscles that have become short and weak may restrict the normal range of motion in a joint, preventing realignment. Active stretching that performed only by the client means by the patient, and passive stretching performed by the therapist for the beneficial of the correction of posture, for the benefit of correction of posture. Next slide is postural malalignment. Muscle need to strengthen and muscles need to stretch. Thank you very much. The remaining part of this topic we'll discuss in next class. Thank you.